Good morning, family. I need you to hear me clearly today, because what I am about to say is not ordinary. This is a word for your spirit, a declaration that will shake the very atmosphere of your life. God told me that November 3 will not be a normal day, and I need you to prepare your heart, your mind, and your life for what is coming. I want you to hear this today. November 3 is not going to be like any other day you have experienced. It is a day that will come with a supernatural shift in your life. God is not speaking ordinary words. He is declaring that the ordinary rhythms, the delays, the stagnation, and the setbacks you have faced are about to be interrupted. This is the day when the atmosphere around you will change, and what has been holding you back will begin to fall away. You need to understand that God works in ways that defy human expectations. He moves in seasons and moments that are beyond what you can plan or predict. And this is one of those moments. Many people go through life expecting the usual, living from one day to the next, thinking that things will only change gradually, slowly, over time. But God is saying no, not this day. November 3 is a day of sudden breakthroughs. It is a day when prayers that have been delayed will finally show up. It is a day when closed doors will swing wide open. It is a day when the unexpected favor, the unexpected blessing, and the unexpected alignment will take place. You may have been waiting for opportunities, waiting for promotions, waiting for answers, and waiting for people to recognize your value. This is the day God will move those things into your life. The supernatural shift that is coming is not something to fear. It is something to prepare for. You have to position yourself in faith. You have to lift your hands, lift your eyes, and lift your heart. The enemy will try to whisper doubts to make you feel that nothing will change, that your efforts have been in vain, or that your situation is too complicated for God to intervene. But you must recognize that this is exactly the day God has set aside to prove that nothing is impossible for Him. This is the day when your faith will meet His power. I want you to see that the shift is not just external. Yes, doors will open, finances will change, relationships will improve, and circumstances will align. But the supernatural shift also begins inside of you. It is a shift in your thinking, in your expectation, in your identity. God is changing your story, and He is changing how you see yourself. He is saying, "This is your season. This is your time. Walk in it boldly and without hesitation." The shift requires you to release the old limitations, the old fears, and the old habits that have been holding you back. So prepare yourself now. Speak words of faith. Anticipate God's movement, and align your actions with the promises He has spoken over your life. Understand that this is not about luck. This is not about chance. This is about divine timing, divine intervention, and God's perfect orchestration. On November 3, your life will no longer be ordinary. Expect it, believe it. Step into it with confidence, because God is about to prove that His plans for you are greater than anything you have imagined. Listen closely, because this is critical. If you want to experience the extraordinary movement of God on November 3, you must guard your heart and your mind. You cannot walk into a day of supernatural favor carrying fear, doubt, or distraction. You cannot receive what God has ordained while your spirit is unsettled or your thoughts are divided. The enemy will try to steal your focus. He will attempt to plant confusion, anxiety, and negative thoughts that can make you question what God is about to do. But God is calling you to vigilance, to a deep awareness of your inner world, because the battle often starts there. Guarding your heart begins with recognizing the things that weigh you down. Are there relationships that drain you? Words that have wounded you and remain unhealed? Expectations that have been unmet and have left you frustrated? God is saying that you cannot step into His promises while holding on to what is not from Him. You must protect your heart from toxic influences, from bitterness, and from anything that could cloud your spiritual vision. Let go of resentment, release anger, forgive those who have hurt you, not for them but for your freedom. The heart that is free is the heart that can receive God's blessings fully. Guarding your mind is equally important. Your thoughts are powerful. What you think, you will speak. What you speak, you will manifest. If your mind is filled with doubt, fear, or disbelief, it will be nearly impossible for you to recognize the doors God is opening on November 3. The enemy will attempt to convince you that what God said cannot happen, that the situation is too hard, that the timing is off, that you are not worthy. But this is the moment when you must rise above those thoughts. You must declare over your mind that you will only entertain faith-filled hope, filled and expectation-filled thoughts. You must meditate on God's promises, speak life into your situation, and feed your mind with truth. You also have to guard what you allow into your space. The conversations you participate in, the media you consume, and even the environments you spend time in can influence your heart and your mind. God is calling you to choose carefully, to avoid anything that contradicts His plan for you, and to surround yourself with things that build you up spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Your environment can either prepare you for the shift God is bringing, or it can delay it. On November 3, you cannot afford to be passive. Guarding your heart and mind is active work. It requires discipline, awareness, and commitment. It requires that you continually choose faith over fear, hope over doubt, and life over negativity. The more you protect your inner world, the more you align yourself with the supernatural movement God is orchestrating. Your thoughts, your focus, and your emotions are the soil in which God will plant His blessings. Guard them carefully so that when the shift comes, you are ready to receive it fully and without obstruction. I need you to hear this today, because it is the key to unlocking the extraordinary that God has prepared for you. On November 3, you cannot wait for proof, for confirmation, or for visible signs before you act. God is calling you to ***. Walk in faith before seeing results ***. The truth is, faith always comes before the manifestation. It is not based on what you can see with your eyes, but on what you know in your spirit is already yours. This is the principle that separates those who experience miracles from those who continue to wait. Walking in faith means believing in the unseen. It means taking steps, speaking words, and holding a posture of expectancy, even when everything around you says otherwise. Many people fail to experience the blessings God has for them because they rely on circumstances instead of the promises of God. They wait for doors to open, but they never knock. They wait for opportunities, but they never move toward them. They wait for breakthrough, but they never release faith-filled words into the atmosphere. November 3 is the day that requires you to act in belief. Faith is not passive. It is bold, it is active, and it demands courage. It requires that you speak victory over your life, even when the situation looks impossible. Say it: I am walking into favor. I am stepping into breakthrough. I am moving into my season of divine alignment. These declarations are not just words, they are faith in motion. They release supernatural energy into your life. They align your spirit with the plans God has prepared for you. I want you to understand that walking in faith is also about ***, trusting God's timing ***. You may have prayed, fasted, and hoped for answers, and they have not come in the timing you expected. But God's timing is perfect. It is intentional. It is not random. And on November 3, you will see the results of the faith you have consistently exercised. Every act of obedience, every prayer spoken in faith, every decision made in alignment with God's Word, it all leads to this moment. Faith also requires patience and perseverance. You cannot be swayed by temporary setbacks or delayed responses. You must stand firm and continue to trust. When the world says no, when circumstances seem impossible, when doubts creep in, that is when faith must rise. Faith sees beyond the natural. Faith recognizes that God is always working behind the scenes, orchestrating things in your favor, even when you cannot see it yet. So today, I am calling you to walk in faith Step forward, speak boldly, and believe that November 3 will bring the manifestation of what God has promised. The shift is coming, but it will meet only those who have aligned themselves with expectation. Do not wait to see before you believe. Believe first, act first, declare first, and watch as God confirms His promises in ways that will leave you amazed. Faith is the bridge between what God has spoken and what you will see. It is the conduit through which miracles flow. November 3 is the day for faith to meet action, expectation to meet reality, and belief to meet manifestation. Walk boldly, speak confidently, and trust without hesitation. I need you to listen carefully because this is one of the most powerful steps to stepping into the extraordinary on November 3. God is calling you to release all negativity. You cannot expect supernatural favor, divine alignment, and unprecedented breakthroughs while your heart is heavy, your mind is clouded, and your spirit is burdened with bitterness, anger, or resentment. The enemy will try to use your past hurts, disappointments, and frustrations to block the blessings that are on the way. But God is saying it is time to let go. Negativity comes in many forms. It may show up as worry, fear, or doubt. It may appear as self-criticism, regret, or unforgiveness toward others. It may be the words you speak over yourself, saying things like, "I will never succeed," or "this will never work out for me." These thoughts, words, and feelings are heavy weights that can keep you from walking freely into the new season God has prepared. November 3 is not a day to carry these burdens. It is a day to release them and step into freedom. Releasing negativity begins with self-awareness. You must recognize the areas where you are holding on to thoughts, emotions, or memories that do not serve you. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to that is slowing me down? What grudges, fears, or regrets are keeping me from experiencing the fullness of God's plan? Naming these things is the first step toward releasing them. Next, you must choose to let them go. Forgiveness is essential, not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. When you release bitterness and resentment, you create space in your heart for blessings, joy, and divine favor. When you let go of worry and doubt, you open your mind to clarity, creativity, and opportunities that you could not see before. When you stop speaking negative words over yourself, you allow faith, hope, and confidence to take root in your spirit. I want you to understand this clearly. Releasing negativity is not optional if you want to experience God's extraordinary movement. You cannot hold on to old pain and expect new blessings to arrive. You cannot carry a heavy heart and step into a day of supernatural favor. November 3 requires that you clear the path for God's power to flow. Practical steps help. Speak declarations of faith over your life. Affirm your worth, your purpose, and your destiny. Surround yourself with positivity, people, messages, and environments that uplift you. Meditate on God's promises. Fill your heart and mind with hope, gratitude, and expectation. Every negative thought or word you replace with faith-filled truth moves you closer to the extraordinary. Finally, remember that releasing negativity is also about perspective. Life is not always easy, and setbacks will come. But how you respond determines whether you remain stuck or move forward into your miracle. Choosing to release negativity is a deliberate daily choice. It is a declaration that you will not let the past, the enemy, or circumstances steal your future. November 3 is a day for freedom, for light, and for abundance, and you must prepare your heart and mind to receive it. I want you to hear me clearly today, because this is one of the most important steps to stepping into the extraordinary on November 3. God is calling you to ***, position yourself for favor ***. This is not a day to be passive or indifferent. This is a day that demands intentional alignment with God's plans. The opportunities, breakthroughs, and blessings that He has prepared will only meet those who have taken the steps to position themselves to receive. Favor does not come to those who are unaware, unprepared, or unconcerned. It comes to those who are ready, those who have aligned their hearts, minds, and actions with His purpose. Positioning yourself begins with ***, spiritual alignment ***. Your heart must be in tune with God. Your mind must be fixed on His promises. Your spirit must be sensitive to His guidance. This is not about religious rituals or empty words. It is about authentic connection, obedience, and a willingness to move as God leads. When your spirit is aligned, you become magnetic to favor. People, opportunities, and divine connections are drawn to you. The atmosphere around you shifts because you have positioned yourself where God's power can work without obstruction. Favor also requires ***, practical preparation ***. Are you putting yourself in spaces where blessings can find you? Are you cultivating the skills, relationships, and mindset needed to receive God's best? Favor often meets those who are already working, learning, growing, and preparing. God opens doors, but you must walk through them with readiness and confidence. This is a day to evaluate your life and ask, am I ready for the breakthrough that God has promised? Am I prepared to walk into favor without hesitation or doubt? Another aspect of positioning yourself for favor is ***, expectation, and faith ***. You must believe that God's favor is already on the way. You must speak life, hope, and possibility over your circumstances. Expect favor in every interaction, every decision, and every situation you encounter. When you carry an attitude of expectation, your spirit aligns with God's supernatural timing. You do not operate out of desperation or doubt. You operate out of confidence in His promises and His perfect plan. Positioning yourself also involves ***, letting go of what hinders you ***. Any relationships, habits, or mindsets that hold you back from stepping fully into God's favor must be released. This is a day to clear the path so that blessings can flow freely into your life. You cannot hold onto the old and expect the new to enter fully. Favor is blocked by fear, hesitation, and unhealed wounds. As you release them, you create space for God's abundance to manifest. Finally, positioning yourself for favor means being ***, ready to act when doors open ***. God will provide opportunities, divine encounters, and unexpected solutions, but you must move when the moment arrives. Favor requires action, boldness, and courage. It is not passive. November 3 will not wait for you to feel ready. You must step forward, confident and obedient, to walk into the extraordinary. The truth is, favor is available, the shift is coming, but you must position yourself intentionally, spiritually, mentally, and practically. Prepare your heart, prepare your actions, and prepare your mindset. Favor is drawn to readiness, and God is calling you to be ready for the life-changing events that are coming on November 3. I need you to listen closely because this step is the key to locking in everything God has promised for November 3. You cannot simply wait for breakthroughs to happen. You must ***, declare your victory ***. Words have power. What you speak over your life, your circumstances, and your future carries spiritual authority. When you boldly declare victory, you are not only expressing faith, you are inviting God's power to move in alignment with your expectation. This is the day to speak life, not doubt. This is the day to affirm God's promises, not question them. Declaring your victory begins in the heart. You must first believe that the breakthrough, the favor, the opportunity, and the blessing are yours. Your declaration is a reflection of your faith. It is a statement to the universe, to the enemy, and to your own spirit that you will not settle for ordinary. You are claiming what God has spoken over your life. You are saying, I am not bound by yesterday, I am not defined by limitations, I am walking into divine favor, and nothing can stop me. I want you to understand that declaration is not empty talk. It is spiritual authority in action. Every time you declare victory, you are aligning your spirit with God's plans. You are calling forth what is already destined for you. This is how the impossible begins to take shape in the natural. Every declaration of faith dismantles doubt, removes obstacles, and positions you to receive. On November 3, declarations will meet divine intervention. The words you speak will carry supernatural weight. Your declaration must be specific and confident Speak over your finances, your relationships, your career, your health, and your personal growth. Say what God has promised, not what the world says is possible. Declare that obstacles are falling, that opportunities are appearing, and that blessings are arriving in your life. Speak it as if it is already happening. I am walking into my breakthrough. I am stepping into favor. I am receiving the doors God has prepared for me. These words are not just affirmations. They are declarations of faith that invite God's power to move. Declaring victory also requires consistency. You cannot declare once and then revert to fear or doubt. Speak it repeatedly. Speak it boldly. Speak it with expectation. Surround yourself with reminders of your declarations, write them down, meditate on them, and let them saturate your spirit. Every time you declare victory, you reinforce faith and weaken negativity. You are creating a spiritual momentum that cannot be ignored. Finally, remember that declaring your victory is a statement of alignment with God's timing. November 3 is not a normal day, it is a divine appointment. By declaring your victory, you are aligning your spirit, your heart, and your mind with the extraordinary plans God has set into motion. You are choosing expectation over hesitation, faith over fear, and action over passivity. When you speak your victory, you are stepping boldly into the life God has prepared for you. This is your moment. This is your day. Declare your victory, speak it boldly, and watch as God moves in ways that will exceed your imagination. November 3 will not be a normal day because you have declared it extraordinary.